The climb out of his tent was different that day as he cast his eyes to the valley of Siddim. Lot began valuing the view of the valley, and the story went downhill from there. But grace broke through the darkness one night outside of his new Sodom home as God gave Lot a higher calling. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain. Lot faced the same conundrum that this generation does. A desire for the salvation of the mountain with a fear of what comes with the climb. And Lot escaped to the city of Zoar, in between the valley and the mountain, just barely into grace, but not nearly where he was called. And there is a tangent that tries to compromise the culture of the valley and the calling of the mountain. But this is a Caleb generation that proclaims, if God has called me to the mountain, then give me this mountain. And Bible quizzing is the base camp to equip you for the climb. You are called to stand out. The very first command given to humanity was this: tend to every tree of the garden, but do not consume the sinful tree. Adam had to work within sin, but sin was never intended to work within him. Moses, you may be living in Egypt, but you are not an Egyptian. Young lady, when the first bell rings, you may have to come near to the valley, but you are not of the valley. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid, but there's a whisper in the winds. How close can you get to the world and still be in the calling of God? Young adults, it's not about where your feet are, it's about where your eyes are. Let's set the record straight. Lot's wife, she didn't turn into a pillar of salt running from Sodom. She turned her eyes after her family made it to Zoar. Her feet were standing in salvation, and she died because of a Snapchat mentality. I'll take a 10-second look into the valley and nobody will know. It doesn't matter if the rest of the youth group has the app. Remember Lot's wife. When you click on YouTube, remember Lot's wife. When you're out with that young man, remember Lot's wife. The credits roll on a movie that should have never been on your screen, and you ask yourself, if I'm a Christian, how did I entertain myself with that? It's because your feet are in grace, but in your eyes is a wanderlust for the valley. You are called to be a missionary, an apostolic dermatologist, a Christian cellist, a church planner, a witness at your school, a Bible study teacher. Your mountain is bringing your family to God and helping your suicidal friend out of the valley. Your mountain is a very, very big deal. Understand this clearly. The valley wasn't made for you, but the mountain is yours. I'll just wait until next year to prepare myself in the Word of God. I'm sorry, Hannah Montana, there won't always be another mountain. There's one mountain, and you're going up or you're going down. So give me this mountain. I want mountain music in my earbuds. I want less of the valley in my youth service and more of the mountain. I want to have a mountain mindset and wear mountain clothes. Apostolics, it's great if the world admires your mountain clothes, but the reason you wear mountain clothes isn't because they're stylish. It's because you're called to a mountain. Yes, Abraham. The mountain is a place of sacrifice, but when you get there, you'll realize that God was providing everything you thought you'd lose. Young man, you may be scared to let go of a relationship in the valley, but God has better things on the mountain. So why is Bible quizzing so important? Because there are confrontations on the mountain where only preparation through the Word of God can sustain you. It was on a mountain that Satan offered Jesus all the world if he would just take one trip to the valley. And Jesus could have answered anything he wanted to, yet he said, "It is written." When the valley begins to cry, there must be a young person to stand and say,
"It is written, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth."
When you hear the valley singing, stay with me.
It is written, "Come ye, and let us go to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths."
But what if you die on the mountain?
It is written, "For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain."
But what about the riches and popularity you'll never find on the mountain?
It is written, "Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right.
The mountain isn't as easy to traverse. What if you fall?
It is written, rejoice not against me, O mine enemy, for when I fall I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. It is written, we are troubled on every side, but not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed.
It's your day. It's your mountain. It's your calling. So prepare yourself for the climb.